All right, folks, Chapter 5, the browser object. Now, what is the browser object? It's just your browser. It's what you're in right now. And that can be broken down into just something that's a little bit more simple than me saying that. But it's just a way for the browser to see itself, basically, and then tell the JavaScript or whatever is parsing what's in the browser what's going on inside of the browser. And so we have these APIs that we can use to work with what's in the browser. And some of these objects they're just all objects inside of each other. Once you learn enough about JavaScript, you'll understand that everything is an object in one way or another. But the window is the global object. And then underneath of it, you have things like the location object. And the location object is your URL or whatever is in the address bar at the time. And then the history object is whatever pages you've been to, the stack of pages that you have recently been to, so that whenever you press the back or forwards button like this, you can see that I have been to my own page many, many times, like a self-obsessed person. And so that's in the history object. You got the navigator object. That's just the browser, what kind of browser it is. You know, Mozilla, Chrome, etc. And then the screen's just how big your monitor is, period. And so these are just reliable things that we can use to be able to have some idea of what's going on in the browser and then be able to use that in our code. And so whenever you only have one file and you want to be able to serve different URLs, then things like the location object are important. And if you want people to be able to use the back and forwards buttons, then the history object is extremely important. So we'll be diving into those. We're just going to do a brief dive into the location object first, and I'll get to the code right now. Alright guys, it's going to be a short video this time because I just want you to get an idea of what the browser object model is, because it's going to be extremely important. We're going to be using it throughout the rest of this. So what we have is our normal folders, just the same server.js as we've had, and index.html has changed just a little bit. It's the same silly title, but down here we have the button now says click me to see your current path. We'll talk about what that means in a second. And then the div's just waiting to be able for us to fill it in. And down here we have the window object right here. We have our app and our button. We're just targeting those so we can fill it in. And then we have our window object. We have the location object inside of it. And then from there we are going to be accessing the path name. And we're just going to be calling it path. And then when we press on this button, we're just making it so that the div that we have inside of our page changes to say that the path is now whatever window.location.pathname is. And the button will tell us, wow, that works with any path. So let's go check this out real quick. Let's get our server started. And it's going to give us our nice little prompt where we can just control and click on that. And then once it opens up, we have our button that we talked about. And the path is currently that. But here's the thing, we can put in anything we want. We can even do something controversial like I hate Nazis, and then maybe a question mark with something like ask me questions. Or maybe we could have something like a weird hashtag here, like hashtag controversial. And so when we hit that, let's see what it says now. That's interesting. It got the nonsense, and it got the I hate Nazis, but we're missing something here. So let's go check out the console log that I put for us over here and see why everything after the question mark was missing. And so if we go over to our window, we have the whole window object here, and look at this. This is all information about what's going on inside of the browser right now. There's a lot here. But one of the main things we're going to be worried about is the location API right here. And you can find it right here. Another way to just check about the location is when you're in the console is, oh my goodness, I got to get through all this, is when you're at the bottom here, you can literally just type location, because we are in the browser right now. And oh my goodness, we are in the browser right now. And so that way it's window.location. That is the window. You are in the browser. And so let's check out what we have here. we have that path name that got showed up, and that's what we were looking for. And then the rest of it, you can access the entire thing here. The problem with this is, if your host name ever changes, like say for instance, if you had something like I love Kanye West, you're going to want to change that. And if all of your internal links use your host name, then it's going to be an issue. And so instead what we like to use are relative links. That means we're just going to be using the path name from there forwards. But as you can see, everything up until the question mark was the path name. The question mark gets put down here in search. And then the hash got moved up here to something different called hash. And those are two interesting things that we're going to be talking about in 12 hours. I'll see you then.